These days, I've been so obsessed with Budmaster blunts. Budmaster blunts makes terpene-infused papers and blunt wraps for every type of consumer. They are 100% nicotine and tobacco-free, so you don't have to worry about all that. Plus, the terpene-infused flavors range from some of my favorite old-school strains to some of my new faves too, including Super Lemon Haze, Blue Dream, Girl Scout Cookie, Gelato, and so many more. Not For Nothing listeners can get 15% off their first 5-pack of paper cones or blunt wraps on Budmaster blunts with code NotForNothingPod at checkout. That's code NotForNothingPod on budmaster.co. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Not For Nothing podcast. Today, we wanted to kick things off by reminding you that there are parts of the U.S. that are a lot more hick than you might remember.
I'm going to preface this by saying you have come to this conclusion based on this story you wanted to share with me.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know if I can totally...
You don't agree, or you don't...
I mean, I just always knew they were there.
Oh, you always knew. Okay, got you.
I have seen.
I was starkly reminded about, just how hick this one state in the Northeast is. That state being Pennsylvania. Because, you think Pennsylvania, you think Philly.
Sure.
I think Philly, really. Or I'll think Amish. I don't really think about the in-between. And the in-between, it could get dark, brother. I mean, they are into guns over there. It's it's the Northeast, but it's whoo, it's also the Wild West.
It's right at that, the Mason-Dixie line?
Yes, exactly. Mason-Dixon.
Mason-Dixon.
Yeah.
It's a mix between Winn-Dixie.
I knew you were thinking that. I knew you were thinking Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, we were both raised in New York. And...
we really were. But Pennsylvania, I was reminded because I went to Hersheypark and
which is, it's okay. I know that we were both pretty not Disney adult people and not really amusement park magic. Hersheypark is fun as fuck.
Hersheypark is so fun
because it's all about candy.
It's about candy, and who doesn't love chocolate? But I gotta say, Hersheypark, for being what it is, you'd think there would be a lot more giving out of candy and chocolate.
That's what my parents were. Well, I went now 20 years ago, which is kind of crazy to think about. And we went during Halloween. And so you would get stuff, but you would only get the tiny little squares. And my mom would always be complaining and be like, they're only giving the bad one. They're not even giving the good stuff. You were never getting Reese's Cups for free.
Dude, for real. That's what I'm saying. It's it's basically free to you if you're the one making it.
Yeah.
The margins are as low as they could possibly get. And you can't hand out, but it's gotten worse from then.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm letting you know that the whole time you're in the parks all day long, I got one miniature piece of chocolate after I took the chocolate tour. That was all they gave out.
That's pretty bullshit.
It is.
But the park is pretty fun.
The park is so fun. I would highly recommend it.
And it's really cute.
Fun.
And it's cute.
It's fun.
But
listen,
what
so
happened to
I
you
was
there?
thinking, I'm wow, it's a little bit
I'm sorry.
It's a little bit country over here. And I only came to that conclusion because I'm spending 2 hours waiting online for rides, which is something I don't recommend.
Yeah, we didn't really do any rides. We did a lot. It was during Halloween, so there was a lot of hay bay rides.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's the way they do their fast pass thing is idiotic. They basically do a supply and demand situation where the price goes up if more people want it.
Yeah, it's the peak off peak bullshit.
Yeah.
Congestion pricing.
Exactly, congestion pricing. It's disturbing.
I mean, it's very Pennsylvania.
Exactly. And then the way they let people on the rides, it's they'll take only fast pass people. They'll continue going until there are no fast pass people waiting. Then they'll go back to the regular line.
That's pretty fucked up.
It's fucked up. That's
fucked up.
So I waited online for each ride 2 hours. That's a long time. So anyway, we're standing online for 2 hours. You're starting to get to know the people around you intimately. You're starting to be okay, I'm counting now. The certain features we all have. Why are 4 girls on this line wearing braids in their hair? You know what I'm saying? Why are Oh my God, the double nose ring. I'm like, am I a normie? This shit must be trending. There's like 6 people waiting online to ride this that have a double nose hoop. And I'm like, wow, I'm learning shit about myself and others. The thing I learned the most, though, is that Pennsylvania and the surrounding area, they're still fucking their cousins. They're fucking their cousins, brother. Or their brother's cousin. Like, I'm telling you.
Slim pickings.
You know, people
Keep it
are
in the
online,
family.
they're waiting. They're keeping it in the family, brother. They're like, people are holding hands, and at first you're like, you know, could be a brother-sister relationship, could be a cousin, could be a guardian situation.
Are they dating or are they related? It's the most fun game to play.
Oh, and that's the question. Every other person, it looks like they're making out with their full-blood sibling.
That's absolutely absurd.
So I'm like, yeah, we're definitely in Pennsylvania.
Well, okay, so I was looking this up really quickly because I wanted to remember his name. I will say, despite all this Pennsylvania slander that we are having, and like for how hick it is, because I agree, like whatever, it's kind of trash. But their senator, John Fetterman, I really appreciate like his candid mental health conversations.
Oh.
And like how he had to take a step back to work on his mental health and his depression and anxiety. And I think that's really cool to see from a leader of a state or like one of the leaders of a state, especially of a state where like you wouldn't expect mental health to be an easy conversation to have.
That's actually good to hear. This is the first time hearing of it. So
yeah, so I kind of
thanks for telling me about
I'm
that.
into that, but I do agree it is kind of, and it's a state
There's
that's also
goods and bads. I don't actually hate Pennsylvania.
It's also a state that's been ravaged by the opioid epidemic as well, and so there's a lot going on in Pennsylvania.
There's a
lot of racism. There's a lot of just all of the stuff. But there's Hersheypark and there's the Amish, and it's also kind of fun.
It is very fun. So anyway, at Hersheypark, trust me, we contributed to their local economy because we calculated it, and we're like, 4 of us went, and I'm like, the 4 of us could have literally taken a trip to Florida and back, including flights, for cheaper than we did Hersheypark for, which we drove.
I mean, that's why I don't go to Disney here. I'm like,
I didn't even come home with like any chocolate, like nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't buy a single piece of chocolate or receive one, and I spent like hundreds. Crazy, but it was fun.
So speaking of leisure activities in the summer, so I feel like that's more like a fall activity of going to Pennsylvania. You do Poconos, you do the Berkshires, you do kind of like the Catskills,
Six Flags,
all that stuff. But one of the fun activities is also to go to the beach, which we talked about in one of our last episodes, about
our favorite beaches.
But it's important to be a good beach goer.
It is. I think there is beach etiquette that is like not really discussed that often.
Beach etiquette. And so one of the main questions we were having recently with Alex is, how far apart should you be if you and your group at the beach have a speaker? How far should you be from the next group that has a speaker, or from a next group in general, as to not auditorily pollute their area?
Great question. And I don't necessarily think there's a numerical answer. However, I think there is a way that the speaker needs to be facing.
Okay.
That is where...
It's 10 feet. It's got
10 feet.
Alex has 10 feet.
Firm answer.
Yeah, I mean, social distancing plus some, and then I did not think about facing speakers.
Yeah, but the facing, it's like...
I gotta argue that I don't even think a beach towel or setup should be... Like, you need to be 10 feet away no matter what. You know what I'm saying?
If you're under 10 feet...
It's too close, dog.
It's like, are you in my party?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, honestly, a beach nap rollover onto the next blanket. And I don't fuck with that because I want to be able to... I want to freely roll.
And that's happened to me before where it's like, I'm at the beach and a group of guys decide it's like so funny to like... also post up there, and they're playing football, and I get hit in the face.
Oh my God, why are they always playing football?
And why am I always getting hit in the face?
And why do those foam footballs always have a bite taken out of them?
And why don't they ever know how to throw or catch it?
I don't know. Why am
'Cause
I
I'm
always
like,
getting
if
a
you-
concussion from a
If
football
you
on a
think
beach?
it's flirting, it's honestly borderline assault. Like, like it hurts.
With a deadly weapon.
Not hot, bro.
No,
I'm
no,
really
no,
not
no.
into the pain stuff. You just made me cry in the middle of the day.
Exactly.
So yeah,
That's
that
like
is
honestly
important in beach etiquette.
That's like throwing Cheez-Its at a blanket when you know there's seagulls around to like make them attack someone. It's wrong, dog.
I've never heard of anyone doing that.
Hyper specific.
Yeah,
But that is like
hyper-specific.
literally. Yeah. It's possible. My friend Ray, he's an absolute terrorist for that one.
But do you think people really own speakers anymore, or was that
Yeah.
like our generation?
I mean, maybe we're showing ourselves. Maybe we're showing our asses, but I still bring a speaker to the beach. I still and it's the same speaker. It's an Anchor Soundcore bullshit.
I haven't. My good speaker stayed in New York, and I didn't bring it here, and I never got a new one, and I feel like I just stopped.
Because like, why would you invest in a speaker now?
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, it's too loud. We are too old. Like, we're just like, no, like, I don't want to even listen to anything
My
anymore.
weed is too loud to have speakers around.
Oh my God. So 10 feet. 10 feet. I agree.
Do you guys have a designated speaker person within your groups?
I don't, but I just like throw my speaker in the bag, hoping it'll be the backup option if someone else doesn't bring a speaker.
So you don't charge it regularly is what I'm hearing.
I charge it because this is actually, I carry it around my house to listen to podcasts as I do the dishes, as I, well, the important thing to note here too is that my phone speaker is broken. So I can't FaceTime someone unless I'm wearing like headphones because like the sound is so soft. It's like a constant whisper. So yeah, I rely on my Anchor Soundcore. Pathetic.
Yeah, that's so you're the designated speaker person. You're just always
unless
out of
someone
battery.
else- No, I'm not always out of battery. I like stagnantly charge it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll charge it when I'm in the house, which is most of the time. All right. So pizza. I have a pizza topic.
All right. Lay it down.
You know, people are always talking shit about Chicago style deep dish, blah, 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 New York style. I don't give a shit about any of that, okay? Today we're talking about New Haven, Connecticut.
Great. Sorry, my brain.
Please tell me what you think about
New Haven, Connecticut. For context, for those of you who are just listening, she said something, and instead of responding to her, I just blank faced, stared at her for 10 seconds. Yeah, let's talk about New Haven, Connecticut pizza. But I also think we need to talk about just generally regional misconceptions about pizza and setting the record straight. I'm not saying New York is the best. I'm just saying New Haven is trash.
I think we can objectively say New York is the best. Like, I'm not even coming at that from a prideful aspect. Like,
I think Detroit style is good.
That's fine. It could be good. But, like, I think objectively speaking, everybody on the planet, pride aside, agrees New York pizza is the best.
I also think it's one of the best because of the quality price ratio.
100%. That plays a factor. And the
like everywhere
availability.
else, it's like you have to get a full pie and it's usually kind of expensive versus like you can
have
just
to have
get
it
a slice on the
delivered.
go.
Yep. 100%.
But I do think there are some emerging pizza markets happening across the United States. New Haven is not one of them.
No, New Haven. Okay, there are terps present in New Haven pizza. But it's just one terp. And that terp is burnt. You can't eat, like, the fact that I can't even taste the acidity of a pizza sauce over the flavor burnt.
Yeah.
The fact that there could be cheese, there could be garlic, there could be oil, it could be a white slice. I can't taste the difference. It's just burnt. Pathetic, wasted excuse. That's like the type of fucking pizza that has a sprig of arugula on it for no reason as well.
Have you ever been to the pizza place that's in Soho? That's like an old spot that specializes in the clam pizza.
No, but I want that right
It's
now.
so
In
good.
my mouth.
I'm trying to find what the name is, and it's one of the most incredible places. It's really old. It was, from my understanding, the first place to get a liquor license in New York.
Oh.
And yeah,
That's cool. I want to try it.
I
Next time you're in New York, let's try
underrated
to make sure
spot.
we do that.
Yeah, we're gonna find the name, and you'll see it in the comments. We'll add it post, but it's absolutely delicious. It's like chopped up clam with like a absolutely.
I want that.
So
I need
good.
that vinegary,
Exactly.
salty,
Just
love.
not burnt.
Not burnt. Regular.
Just regular.
Toasted.
I honestly sometimes like it kind of medium cold.
Cold? Temperature-wise?
Yeah.
I love cold pizza.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's incredible.
It's my preference, to be honest. Anyway, enough talk about pizza.
I know. Now I'm so hungry for
I
pizza.
know. Like, we're getting pizza after this. I'm so excited. This is going to get heavy.
Again, lay it on.
Do you believe in soulmates or love at first sight?
I believe in love at first sight. I think that human beings, one of our beauties is our ability to grow and to change and to evolve. And so I think you might have a soulmate for a certain time of your life that like really is just so perfect for you at that certain time. But if you keep growing and evolving, because we're all so unique, your partner may not be the same. So I don't think at the end of the day, your soulmate, like, I think limiting yourself to just one soulmate is a concept of like based in puritanical society.
I kind of agree with you. And that's not to say that I necessarily want to live in a way that is like, oh, if I get married, I don't mind. Like, I'm not going into something knowing or thinking I'm going to be divorced.
Exactly. But I don't believe that there is one person for one person.
Agreed.
I think there's a lot
Good way to put it.
But I do think you can like fall in love immediately. But I also think that the definition of love is a little like different. Like you can fall into deeper love later, even though at first sight you fell in love with certain things.
I don't know if I do believe in love at first sight. I think that you can have interest at first sight.
Yeah, crush at first sight.
Crush at first sight.
Yeah.
Love at first sight, I'm not sure that I can get behind that.
No, because I don't fall in love with just looks and appearance. Like I need to know a lot about you.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of factors that build love other than you look good, I like your clothes, and you smoke weed.
Yeah, exactly. I do agree with you. I would say, to your point about soulmates, I don't even know if I believe in soulmates so much as I do believe in twin flames, which are a type of soulmate. Yeah. But like you said, they're a more fleeting kind of soulmate. Like they might be your soulmate at certain points and at other times really not. And even if you are soulmates, you might not want to be together. It might not be healthy. It may not be
the right time. It may not be the right mental state. Like there's so many things that go into it that I think people and like society and media has conditioned us to like romanticize this concept of a man and a woman meet and they're together forever and they have the kids and they have all like
there's like boxes that need to be
it's
checked.
Not all like that, and doesn't need to be.
Yep. Yeah. All right, so quick question about weed.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people learn to roll different ways. Do you crumble the paper before you roll up?
I don't, but I know a few people who do.
Why do people do that?
Okay, so what I heard about the reason why people crumple the paper is because, so you know when you're getting papers, it's like sheet by sheet and you're like taking them out. If you crumple it, it removes the creases.
Yeah.
So you have a more even distribution of your flour when you're packing it instead of it being kind of like a corner cylinder. Excuse me.
I guess that could be helpful for people who can't roll.
Exactly.
Not to be shady.
No, I don't think it's really necessary, but I think it like helps, distribute the flour. I think it matters if like your flour is really kind of sticky.
That's true.
You'll have less of these like empty pockets and more of an even distribution.
Yeah.
But it's definitely overkill, and I feel like the people who do it are
not the best rollers.
Yeah, or just like would do something extra.
Okay. You think crumpling a paper is for attention.
Crumple papers are pick-me stoners.
Oh my God. All right. I want to tell a quick story. And this is, I don't know, I wonder if there's going to be retaliation in my family for telling such a secret family story. I want to talk about a funny thing that happened. A joke I held on to in my family. And like, have you ever like held on to a joke to yourself for the right reveal moment? For the right time to blurt it out just because you know the funniness is going to be compounded?
Not really, but please share.
Okay. So, for a little bit, my mom worked at a library. And there was a bulletin board in the library in the room that she used to do work out of. And there was like some programming going on where kids were writing poetry. So the poems were displayed. So there was one stuck up to the wall and it read, "School is fun, but sometimes dumb. Math is hard. A cat has a card." So this poem, me and my whole family laughed at it so hard all the time. We were like, why would they throw that last whirlwind line in?
Yeah,
a cat has a card. We're talking about school the whole time.
I'm not quite sure I understand the correlation between math is hard and a cat has a card.
There's no correlation. I think that's the best part of it. That's the beauty in it.
Unless you're not in on the joke.
It's true, but 3/4 of that poem is about school and the 1/4 is about the cat, which I get. 3/4 of my life is work and the other 1/4 is my cat. But the power of the words, it's like school is fun and it is sometimes dumb and math is extremely hard. And now, thanks to the power of Chewy.com, my cat has a motherfucking card. My sister bought my cat a queen card.
I love that.
So our family inside joke has lasted forever. But the reason that it was so memorable in my family is because it started off as an innocent joke. We would laugh at it when we saw it at the library. But eventually, like, it stopped, they weren't displayed anymore. And, like, we forgot about it. But
times changed.
But I had actually stolen that poem, that original poem. I stole it off the wall. And I tucked it away. And I waited until Christmas Day. I waited till fucking Christmas Day. My family was like exchanging like gifts.
Yeah.
And me and my sister had like a couple tchotchkes for each other. So I was like, oh, here's this new, eyeliner you wanted. Like, here's this nail polish. And then I'm like, you ready for the next one? And she sticks her hand out, closes her eyes, opens it, and she received the original poetry. And that was like, that really solidified it as like a family long-term joke.
I love that.
So yeah, and now I made my boyfriend memorize it. I'll be like, babe, what is it? I'm like, I'll start you off. I'm like, school is. That's right. Okay, good. Yeah, initiation.
Yeah, no, our family joke is not as intellectually elaborate.
Is it intellectual? Is the whole time the poem is really such an intellectual piece of beauty?
It's incredible.
It is.
It's truly like poetry.
I think that's what I'm gonna write on your Cancer season affirmation wall.
You should.
Yeah,
because math is hard, and sometimes school is dumb, but it could be fun.
And then just like think none of it matters as long as my cat has a card.
It's incredible.
Thank you for another episode of Not For Nothing. Please follow us wherever you are. At Not For Nothing Pod. I'm Sarah ElSayed. You can follow me at How Can I Help You?
And I'm Natasha, and you can follow me at Natasha PRZ or Pussyweed.
And we'll see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.